Okay.
let's go with Field of Honor. Tell us
Field
about
of
Field of
Honor.
Honor.
Okay, Field of Honor. So it's right. Field of Honor. I've caught this on Amazon. It was an old one. It was to do with the Korean War. So it's quite interesting. And it's a Dutch company, and they get basically they get attacked by the Chinese and practically all wiped out. But he manages to survive,
Yeah.
and it's basically a little bit of a story of survival. Of he's sort of hiding under a truck, and more Chinese people come along, and the truck's on his foot, and he can't get off, and they try to blow up the truck, and I mean, he is really really lucky. It's sort of I think it's loosely based on something true story, but I'm just like, wow, that's lucky because as the Chinese go along, they're going to blow up all the trucks, and it just so happens that they throw a grenade, and take off, but the grenade doesn't go off. So,
Yeah.
and also there's this like young girl and her brother who sort of help him to survive because he's fairly well injured. He's fairly well injured. Um, not big on action. It is to start with, but what intrigued me was the chap, the actor. What was his name? Toes, the guy who was in. Yeah. So
It's Everett McGill. It
Everett
says,
McGill. That's
yeah,
it. Everett McGill. Yeah,
yeah.
and he was the I think Under Siege 2 or whichever the one on the train was.
Oh, okay. He might have been a secondary bad guy in that. Yeah.
No, he was the main. He was like, well, yeah, he was the one who got his daughter and said they're gonna, and they had that silly fight at the end. So yeah, that's and I was,
Every fight in an Under Siege movie was silly.
yeah, but it's one of those ones where I'm gonna take you. Do you know what I mean? It's where
Yes.
it's
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
my big hates. Yeah, so yeah, he's the one that's actually on the train. He's the head of the mercenary
Oh
dudes.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, and I think he's been in one or two other things I've probably seen him in, but I thought he played a really, really good part. He
Yeah.
was
Because this
quite
is all the way
brilliant.
from 1986.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I obviously didn't catch it. It was so yeah, so that's the basic story. So it's quite low on action. There's not a lot of action because the first sort of half of the film is the companies together and the
Yeah.
relationships between them. And then, as I say, they get attacked by silly someone's on sentry duty and they don't do the job properly. So you know, so yeah, so that scene that's about the major action scene in it. And
Okay.
then go on.
Yeah. I was just gonna ask because is this what language is this film in?
It's in America. It's in English. It's
Is
in
it English?
American. Yeah, it's in
Okay,
English.
because this I'm looking through this thing and it seems like it's a very sort of like 50-50 South Korean Dutch film because it's
Yeah,
directed by a South Korea like Kim Dae-hae and
yeah.
Hans Sheepmaker and it's written by Hank Boss and Kim Dae-hae and it look throughout all the things you have like Korean person, Dutch person
Yeah,
making
well,
this
this
film
was
together.
if it was. I mean, it was dubbed. If it was, but it was all in English. There wasn't any
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
subtitles. It was all in English. So, um, yeah. So and I said at the beginning, it did say it was based on or loosely based on a true story of
Yep.
this chap, and it's just basically a story about survival.
Yeah.
I quite liked it. I didn't mind it. I watched the whole thing. As I say, I was would hope for a little bit more action and shoot 'em up, but it was very much the
I think
relationship.
I think in the next film you're going to review you might get that.
Yeah, because that's based on experiences.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. So as a as the film goes, it was okay. It's a 3-star movie. That's
Yep.
all I can say, and it's pretty standard, really. It's just, but I do quite like Everett McGill actually in this film. I wasn't so sure like we were saying in the Under Siege film, but I'm sure he must have been in some other stuff as well.
Yeah, okay, well, yeah. Under Siege was never any, but was nobody's it was nobody's shining moment.
No.
Although Gary Busey in a dress. I mean, you have
Oh,
to-
that was the first one, wasn't it?
that was the first one. Yeah,
That was the first
Gary
one. Yeah.
Busey in the dress and Tommy Lee Jones being a rocker. I mean,
Yeah.
you got to give them props for that. All right, cool. So that
Okay.
is 3 stars for Field of
Three
Honor.
stars for Phil. Yeah,